A series that I was extremely stoked for the moment its first look came out was the Amazon Prime Video series Tandav. But what always made me skeptical about the series was whether Ali Abbas Zafar was capable enough to create a compelling political drama. I mean, the show is advertised by showing off that it has been made by the makers of Tiger Zinda Hai and Bharat, which isn't saying much to the insight that will be contributed to the series. Tandav is what happens when a man who is specialized in commercial pot boilers has presented his stories on a larger-than-life scale, struggles to assimilate and understand the medium through which this story is told. Tandav focuses on the JLD party that is coming into power for the fourth time. The country seems to be in tethers as there are farmers' protests, student agitation and basic civil unrest. What is explored in the series is the different personalities that one has to deal with in a political party, the lust for power and the management of different egos that is a prerequisite of politics, the several factions that one has to face when in a position of power, and finally, the several situations of deception and scheming that change the power dynamics of several characters. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the series so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it on Amazon Prime Video or not. The good. The main cast. See, I won't deny that I'm a Saif Ali Khan fan. I'm a fan of his creative choices and his ability to portray roles in some of the most wackiest and offbeat storylines with such conviction. Even though I feel that Saif Ali Khan's performance as the aspirational, deceptive and calculated Samar Pratap Singh is not one of his best, he still lends an effortless charm to the role that contributes very well to the individual's greed for power. Dimple Kapadia as Anuradha Kishore is a standout performer in this series according to me. They say for you to survive in Indian politics, especially for a woman to do so, you have to be made of metal very few mortals know of. Anuradha showcases this tough exterior one is compelled to put forth for survival and persistence. Her calculated moves and ability to understand the various personalities to be managed is executed brilliantly by the veteran actor. For me, Mohammed Zeeshan Ayyub was a hit and a miss in this series, where he was convincing in moments where he crosses paths with politicians and is to take a decision in order to further his political career. In other moments, I wasn't convinced of Zeeshan Ayyub's portrayal of a college student. There are moments in which an actor like Kritika Kamra shines, but these also represent sequences that are few and far between. It is, however, Sunil Grover that I absolutely loved in the series as Gurpal, the dependable right-hand man to Samar. He is a stoic, ruthless and cunning individual that has a bird's eye view to every minute detail. His intense demeanor and demonic laughter account for some of the best sequences in the series. Seeing Grover also made me realize that there is a beauty to comedic actors doing intense dramatic roles. When I see actors like Jim Carrey and the late Robin Williams in films like Eternal Sunshine or Good Will Hunting, it highlights the sheer range some of these actors with the best comic timing possess. Grover should experiment with these intense roles much more as they really showcase a side of him many people may not know he simply possesses. Other than these performers, characters either don't have moments to shine due to the lackluster writing or are barely fleshed out, making their contribution to the series almost negligible. Costume design. What may seem like a diss, but it is just something that I noticed when I was visually analyzing the series, it is that everyone is styled perfectly. Subarna Ray Chaudhary has executed her job in such a manner that the entire ensemble cast seems to come out from a catalogue photoshoot. The men are sporting the perfect fits as if in a Fab India shoot, while the women seem to sport a new collection from Meena Bazaar or Satya Paul. This is technically not a diss, but it was quite hilarious to see how elegant, pretty and almost spotless each frame and the look that the characters were sporting. Potential. Tandav had the perfect canvas to present an engaging and thrilling political drama on the OTT platform. Its basic strengths were that it drew parallels from current events that took place, and two, that it had subplots and characters to shed light on topics such as the abuse of power, rising bigotry in the nation, unlawful imprisonment of citizens, the rising inequalities of income, and the dirty world of politics. What is sad regarding a series like Tandav is that while it can present a nuanced and in-depth take on these several topics, what it does is stick to a narrative to suggest that one side is purely evil and one side is holier than thou. So much so that it actually ignores the idiosyncrasies and complexities that exist regarding several of these topics. The series' intention was to focus on what comes with Indian politics and how individually everyone is facing their own demons. But what did we get? The underwhelming aspects. Surface level treatment and dumbed down. Tandav simplifies and dumbs down several complex issues when you think about it. It almost inadvertently belittles the very topics it wants to shed light on. So whether it be chits being passed around by political agents to who need to be executed, villagers revering a man to be their god after a stay order, or politicians of the same party openly mocking one another in the press conference. All of this political drama is provided with a Bollywood tadka that makes this piece stand out on the OTT platform for all the wrong reasons. A space known for real, gritty and compelling stories is presented with a series which seems to be more like if Abbas Mastan made a political drama. You know, when publications like The Quint or NDTV also label a series as pedestrian or lackluster, news channels that are clearly left-leaning also don't enjoy a series that echoes the same sentiment. You know the written material has terribly failed to be even the slightest bit of convincing. My biggest gripe with the series is the need for the creators to hold a little pinky finger and provide us context and a full narration of how things may have transpired from all perspectives. The sense of mystery from an editing and screenplay perspective is completely missing because we are given caution before anything major is going to happen. We are told when, what, where and who will execute the next move, and this completely diminishes the sense of shock or mystery in a political thriller. Take me through the journey of Akshay Kumar falling in love with Aishwarya Rai in Khaki only for her to out of nowhere backstab him to feel a sense of shock. Don't give me an idea of her devious plan from the onset. You get what I mean? The show starts with a quote stating, "In politics, being deceived is no excuse." I can clearly state after watching the show that I have no excuses. Most of the situations can be predicted in the series, barring maybe some moments of the last 2 episodes. Saturated and odd background music. One of my biggest pet peeves regarding anything in film is when the creators feel that there is a need to place a background score in every situation to give the audience an idea of what the intended mood of the scene is. While the background music of Julius Packiam for the series works in moments, I could not help but notice that one of the tracks sounded oddly similar to the BBC Sherlock series score. Beyond just the saturation of music, Dhaka Laga Buka, basically the famous Yuva track that has been reused for this series, is played repeatedly, almost to a nauseating level. It gave me flashbacks to Adya and Suman singing Baba Kare Kranti on and on in Ashram. By the end of it, I was just tired listening to the same track over and over again. Writing. The biggest drawback according to me is the poor writing of the film. This is something that I did not expect, as Gaurav Solanki, one of the co-writers of the series, has also written the thought-provoking film Article 15. The writing in this series in several moments will make you laugh hysterically, and the sad reality is that in those several moments, the creators had no intention to generate laughter. From Saif Ali Khan comparing power to a throbbing penis so long that the best women can fall head over heels for it, to the power dynamic of sex being described from the prism of caste. I was more confused than engaged in several of these sequences. There is also an initial sequence that presents a theatre production, in which the point of the play is to communicate the polarizing world that we live in. But the get-up and the language in which it is presented makes me believe that there is an intention not to communicate through this sequence, but just to rile up the audience. The foundation itself of creating parallels with real-life occurrences had so much potential, but what we got was a love triangle of Dino Moria and Saif Ali Khan having a hissy fit when he gets compared to his father. The connection between the inner workings of JLD and the progression of college politics is so paper-thin that you realize that from a clear storyboard perspective also, Tandav fails to create a basic structure. Wasted talent and pitch. What is an inevitable result of such a huge ensemble cast is that many of the actors get wasted. Sarah Jane Diaz has barely anything to do as Summer's wife. Usually when a character like Summer has a better half always by his side, there is an influence of thought, a less dramatic version of Lady Macbeth maybe, influencing the man. But Sarah just exists in the frame, having minimal dialogues and little to contribute. Similarly, actors like Kumud Mishra and Paresh Rahuja literally become caricatures. Otherwise capable actors, they put forth such loud and animated performances that you get confused of what the pitch of this series is. Saif and Grover are on one tangent while members of the cabinet are on another. I guess it's very much like the inconsistency of episode titles as well. Having the depth to be titled Chandragupt, an insight into Chanakya and the relevance of the Kingmaker, and then the next episode being titled Left Say Right. I mean, that was a drop in quality and creativity. Tandav had all the elements to become a compelling and exhilarating political drama, but its one-tone narrative, poor writing, and scattered screenplay really did lead to its downfall. They have set up the season for this series to be eventually revived for a second season, but Tandav did not rile up an interest within me of what could happen in the near future. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.